3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Should we give everyone a couple of minutes?
Yeah, let's give people a chance to join.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Hope everyone is doing okay today.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Hope everyone's having a good week.
Can we see anyone joining?
Oh.
Who's watching the chat? Anyone watching the chat? Let's have a look.
Or is that one there? Yeah, but I think we haven't asked them to say anything, so it normally helps.
Yeah. Do pop something in the comments if you are watching live so that we know you are there. It really helps.
Say hello.
We can't see you.
We're like, Caroline Mitchell, are you there? She's like, nah, not there. I'm sorry, darling.
Is there anybody there?
Oh, we can't tell.
No.
It says live.
We are definitely live, so I'm going to start the broadcast, if that's okay. I think sometimes it's a little slow. So if you are here today watching, or if you're on the replay, thank you for coming today. This is the March, it's a B2B comms thing live, which is about squeezing all that value from trade shows. So we wanted to do this one today. We're all really time poor, aren't we? And marketing and comms pros, we need to make sure that the time spent away from the office is worthwhile. So that's true if you're hosting an event or if you've got to stand at a trade show. It's a huge amount of time and effort, and I think we wanted to try and cover off a few points today based on all our different experiences. We're all bringing something slightly different today because, just going to be seen isn't really the right reason, and curated effectively, they can be hugely lucrative for both PR, brand awareness and sales leads as well. So we've all got slightly different aspects today. We're going to have the usual format, which is 3 questions, and we will take questions from you afterwards. Hi, Candice, thanks for joining. So if everyone wants to put any questions in, there's a chance that they might flash up on the screen, but don't let that put you off. It's just us. It's not a problem. So we'd love to have you. So please do ask something. But we feel we should tell you about that bit. So moving straight into the questions today. Planning is really important. And the first question is, what actions should you take now or before your trade show has even started? So Ayo, should we come to you first?
Why not? So I kind of, hello, by the way. And the key things for me, I thought, is that you need to create some kind of energy and excitement that you're going to be somewhere. So I always think before a show, you want to kind of start talking about it, start sharing what you're doing. And in the run up to the show, it's kind of just building that kind of excitement. We're going, this is what we're going to be showing. This is what we're going to be doing. This is who you're going to meet, and, keeping that going. So I think social media plays a huge part in that. So you can start connecting with potential visitors and delegates, but also you can also use it as a way to build your relationship with the actual organizers as well. So what the hashtags they're using, connecting and all of that kind of stuff. So I think before the show, you've really got to kind of focus on getting your stall in order, finding out what the show hashtags are, sharing social media posts, talking about what you're going to be doing. And also, I think if there's any kind of press interviews, previews, any of that kind of stuff going along with the show, making sure that you've got your press releases out there and all your details are ready to go, and that you're actually sharing that kind of content as well. So for me, it's about making the most of kind of the pre-event promotional opportunities, and also telling your existing clients that you're going to be there and would they like to meet. So for me, that's what you need to do before a show.
Well, hey, we're done. That's everything.
Cheers, lovely.
What she said. Well, happy you're there.
Sorry, I got on this the other day. That's why.
Stacey, what would you add to that amazing list?
What I would add, the number one thing is make sure you've got comfy shoes. Don't be breaking in shoes if you're going to a trade show.
That's a fabulous tip.
But everybody who's been to a trade show and made that rookie error knows exactly what I mean. So get comfy shoes. You don't want to be, no heels. Really, you want comfy shoes if you're going to be on a feet. That's just one very, very simple, practical pre-planning tip. But just picking up on what Ayo was saying about press coverage. My background is journalism and trade journalism. Spent 15 years going down to MIPIM and various other trade shows. So what I would say from a pre-press point of view is check out what the publishing deadlines are for the publication. So if you're launching something at the show, think about whether you can get that press release to the journalists under embargo ahead of the day, because once the show's on, they're going to be extremely busy. They're probably not going to have time to turn around press releases. And we used to do a hell of a lot of prep, get a lot of stories around stuff that was being announced at, say, MIPIM and LREF and those sort of things. We used to get those done beforehand. They would all be teed up, ready to go, and they would just publish when the embargo broke. So think about that. Think about, is there stuff that you are announcing at the show that you can actually get over to the press in plenty of time? And similarly with supplements and content. I mean, just as an example, we used to put out our biggest issue of the year at EG to coincide with MIPIM, and I used to start working on the supplements that went in that issue the December before. People would contact me 2 weeks before the show and go, can we contribute to the MIPIM issue? We'd gone to press by then. It was way too late. We were working sort of 8, 9, 10 weeks in advance. So bear that in mind. If you want to get into publications that are going out with the show, find out what the timeline is, find out what the deadlines are, because these things take a lot of planning and a lot of work, and the work starts really early. So you don't want to miss out.
That's a really good point, and one that a lot of people do miss. And when I've been to some before, and you've not known that, or you've been thrown, we need to do this now. It's too late, And at MIPIM in particular, they're printing overnight, aren't they? So there's lots going on as well. So what would I add to that? Well, for me, I suppose I'm going to come at it from the speaking point of view, but I think there's 3 things really: having a goal for your event in the first place, doing your research, and having that hero piece of content. Where you've kind of covered that a bit, Stacey, with that. Are you launching a product or services? What is your goal? Are you publishing a report? Are you recruiting? Are you looking to engage people with your product or service? Well, the last one, clearly, otherwise you wouldn't be going. But what is really the purpose of why you're doing that? And like Stacey, I've launched white papers and reports for clients, and letting them know in advance, as Stacey said, organising a pre-copy at your stand with a bit of food works. Get people there. If it's a handful, 5 great connections with a pre-copy in their hands is better. That's meaningful connection with people. So think about that. If you haven't much time, I know I wasn't at this one, but the last episode of this was on repurposing. You can repurpose something. You can use something with a new perspective. Make sure you. It's giggling at me. I'm not quite sure why.
I wasn't.
Okay. So, is there a particular news agenda you can piggyback on? What's everyone talking about? Or failing that, prepare some sort of interactive element that you can. If you haven't got any of those things, have a think about how you're going to make the most use of it, so to reach your goal. In terms of your talk, I'm going to focus on that bit today. Researching your audience for your talk. Now, researching what's hot and what's not. No one wants to hear the same topic. Us 3 are working in the built environment predominantly, and the same topics come up. We've all said this, haven't we? At every trade show, and we want to hear something new. So research what's hot, but also what's not, and don't talk about something that's already been talked about. Connecting and reaching out to your fellow panelists, other people that are speaking, find out what they'll be talking about. Maybe there's some common interest there. And if you connect with fellow panelists, you can also tag them, which can help with increasing your reach of your social posts before the show as well. And just very quickly, the talk show, people tuning in to listen to something and learn something from you. It's not sales led. So decouple it from your stand. They want to hear about a topic and learn something and come away with something. So make sure that whatever it is right for that audience. So they're my things. Question 2, I think, is Ayo.
Is me. Okay, so moving on. What's the most important activities to prioritise during the event itself? Who wants to go first on that one? Is that you, Stacey?
Yeah, I'll go first. Again, I'm coming at this from sort of, with my background. Emma mentioned about having something to hand out. I think if you want to lure people to your stand, make sure that food is always good for journalists. Get journalists on your stand, handful of sweets, that kind of stuff. Going for the basics. This follows on from my tip about comfy shoes. Drink is always good. Making sure that and this falls into partly prep as well, but making sure you're having something that makes your stand out from the crowd. I mean, all the stands that I remember were ones that were just a bit different. I mean, just a few very, very quick examples. I think it was at a MIP in Bristol City had a stand, and they had a local artist who they had a plain white stand, and they had a local artist who was doing who basically graffitied on their stand during the week and was drawing stuff relating to Bristol, and it meant people kept coming back to the stand to see how the artwork was progressing. And I know other stands have done that. I've seen stands that have done like little competitions, like I've seen Scale Electric, that kind of stuff gets people coming back. You can talk to people while they're there. That putting stands to one side. The other thing I would say is, obviously you've got your hero content, you will have your content plan as to what you want to do, but don't forget the ad hoc stuff, particularly as we haven't had any trade shows for a couple of years. People are really curious as to what it's like. So think about, if you're going along to a panel, what can you be telling your audience and your followers on LinkedIn and Twitter about what is going on? And I'm not just talking about, this is a really great panel. What were the interesting key things that came out of it? Was there a standout quote? Was there a big ask from the audience? What was going on? What have you seen? The stuff that you can quickly take a picture of and tweet, to show the people back at home what is going on.
Yeah, now they are really important points, actually. And having something interesting, people do talk about it. It sounds very simple, doesn't it? But it's like, have you had a go on the Scale Electric? Yeah, you might know nothing about the product or anything like that, but it does help with footfall, that's for sure. So what would I add to that? Following on from the sort of speaking theme, tweaking and not twerking.
Not twerking. I was going to say.
I got there before you.
Emma.
I got there before you. Speaking, not twerking, and connecting. So with regards to any planned speaking opportunity, researching the news on the day, add some flavour to your talk. What's happening? And you can run polls on social media during the day. What are people talking about the show? What's important? What industry topics are coming up? You can weave those into your talk on the day. It makes it stand out and makes it sound a bit different as well. What else would I add? But don't forget to tell people during the show is a really important time when lots of people forget that you need to keep telling people you're there and what you're doing and what's interesting about it, not just the once. Assuming all the work is on feet when you're there is incorrect, and actually there's a lot you need to be doing in terms of raising awareness and profile during that show. Assuming people will turn up to your talk just because it's advertised is not a very good strategy. You will have to keep telling people about that over and over again. There's lots goes on at these shows, isn't there?
Absolutely.
So that would be my thing. So sorry, I'm conscious of time, but go on. Yep.
I was literally just going to say I had a client at Surface a couple of weeks ago, and actually I spent a lot of that show, not actually at the show itself, but on social media. And a lot of my time was actually sitting there creating stuff, creating reels, creating stuff about them being at the show. And what was lovely was that you could see from that third, we've had a competition, and you could actually see that people were retweeting our stuff. Mm-hmm. We were engaged with the exhibitors. We had people saying, I'm going to go and visit their stand and all that kind of stuff, and sharing tweets about it. And I kind of think that's what you want. You want that online momentum as well.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to keep it's momentum. That's the key word. Yeah. It's momentum. The show bit is all about momentum, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
So the final question, I think this is, sorry, did you want to add something?
No, this is me. I'm asking the final question.
I thought it was me.
It's all right. I didn't actually write the question down. So,
I've not showed any questions, have I?
I will set this one up because Stacey doesn't know what it is.
No, I know what it is, but it's not going to be exactly as we wrote it down. But it's all about how you squeeze value after the event. Mopping up. That mopping up was the phrase I was trying to remember. Mopping up.
Mopping up after the event.
So, yeah. So, Emma, do you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I mean, I think just following on from what I was saying about momentum. So, you've done your talk, you walk away, you've answered a few questions. The time after that talk is when you're going to be most visible. That is the time when you've got a little window where you've just launched to a new audience effectively, a new bunch of people that have heard you and seen you. And this is going to be the time when you need to be on your social media, arranging to meet people straight after the talk, because this is when your sort of magic time is if you've had a talk. So plan to be around. Don't plan to go sort of, oh, that's done, I'm going to, go for coffee. It's that bit afterwards is really super important. You are your most visible at that time. So as if you've got someone like Ayo or whoever there, email your lists, send something out at that point, capture the key points or comments from the talk. Maybe write a LinkedIn article straight away, or do a reel on Instagram, or do a story on Instagram, maybe reflecting something from that talk. So that's what I would say is probably my most important one. So Ayo, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I think I always kind of say you should have your post-event follow-up ready to go before the event, because then it just means that when you're knackered, your feet hurt, you finish the event, last thing you want to do is talk to anybody. You're actually ready to go, and you've got like an email that goes out. It's got CTAs. Here's your website. Here's how to contact us. Here's just put loads of CTAs in it. Lovely to meet you. Picture of the, what's going on at the stand, which you can drop in at the last minute. But actually having that ready to go before the actual event itself just saves you a whole load of hassle, and actually gives you time to then respond and follow up and do all those other things. So for me, it's actually, I guess, again, getting ready beforehand.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what I would add to that, obviously I second all of that, but what I would add is coming back to the previous point I made about sort of social media and being tweeting what's going on and what it's like, is having that sort of piece that you can write up quickly after the event, not 2 or 3 days, but literally the day after it's finished. You can do some really nice social stuff about what were your impressions. Again, coming back to the point that we haven't had many trade shows over the last 2 years. People are really curious about what it was like. And you could do some really nice, like LinkedIn posts, some nice social stuff around, what were the key things people were talking about? What was it? Was there a buzz? What did it feel like? Talk about what it was like being there for those that weren't there. And also, then you can highlight some of the stuff that, you did while you were there as well. So it's all part of that, building that visibility. But what I would say is just make sure you do it quickly, because if you're doing it a week later, people have moved on. People move on from these things really, really quickly. So
timeliness,
it doesn't have to be a long piece. You could write a really nice LinkedIn post, just highlighting the key things for you, from that you took away from the event, or the 3 things that you noticed, or there's some really easy things that you can do that you can turn around really quickly afterwards.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm conscious of time. We're 18 minutes over. We haven't had any questions today, although because you'd have to let me know if there's any comments under the post, because I can't see it because I'm presenting today. We've got I can see Lucy Dixon and Candice is there. So but we've had no questions. So has anyone got any questions? I'll give a couple of seconds for questions if anyone has any for any of us.
Yeah. I mean, if there are any there, we can always pick up and answer them.
Let's do that.
Answer them during the week if people.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, I hope this episode's been really useful for you. We're here the first Friday of every month. And so the date I don't have off the top of my head, but one of my professional colleagues, I'm sure, will tell me by the time I finish speaking.
I have no idea.
We would love to have holidays. Yeah, it might be actually. So we'll let you know about that. We're always after suggestions of topics, so please do put them underneath the post for this event if you've got any suggestions of things you'd like us to cover. And if you like something you heard today, please do share this on social media with your audience as well. We would really, really appreciate that. So we'll just say bye for now and see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.